Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Earlier this year, there was the plane crash in the Alps with the suicidal pilot Andreas Lubitz, at least as it was presented in the media. When we decoded those stories, we found the connections to Lupercalia, this festival that dates back to the ancient Romans, the assassination of Caesar, connected to Valentine's Day. I should have, at the time of the Philadelphia train crash, thought to measure from Lupercalia to the date of the train crash. I did not do that, but now I have, and I want to show you what I found, Truth Seeker. If you were to go back and watch my videos, I did several on the Philadelphia train crash. The first one I did, the numbers that stood out to me were 98 and 222, but I didn't know how to place them. Recall that the train crashed at 9:23 p.m., a hint at the date of September 23rd. Well, check this out, Truth Seeker. Lupercalia happens on February 13th. It goes through the 15th. From the first day of Lupercalia to September 23rd is a span of exactly 222 days. And remember, from the very beginning, the number 222 stood out because Amtrak in Jewish gematria equals 222. It was an Amtrak train that crashed in Philadelphia. And again, the numbers 98 were popping out all over, starting with the spokesperson from the beginning, Michael Anthony Nutter. Remember, the name Michael Nutter sums to 59, like the numbers coded all over black people throughout history. The name Michael Anthony Nutter sums to 93. Another number coded on very famous black Americans, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and a whole lot more, from Bob Marley to many other pop singers right now, Beyonce, before her Brandy. This number 93 is all over famous black Americans, especially the ones who are at the most famous, at the forefront. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, some of the biggest names in black history, all coded with the same numbers. So anyway, Michael Anthony Nutter is the 98th mayor of Philadelphia. Philadelphia has two counts because of how old it is as a city, the original capital, even predating the United States. From the original count, he's also the 124th mayor. In terms of the United States of America being in existence, he's the 98th. Anyhow, as the names came out, the experts for the Philadelphia train crash, more and more 98. This was the doctor or the chief medical examiner verifying that however many had died, 7 or 8, whatever they said, it doesn't matter, it was a lie. But his name was Herbert Cushing. Dr. Herbert Cushing, as they put it up on the screen, sums to 98 with the S exception. Then they had another expert on TV. They had John Goglia, and the name John Goglia was simple English gematria, sums to 98. 98th mayor, and then the two experts they had on TV saying how fast the train was going. Remember, they said it was going 106 miles per hour. All the people speaking about this summed out to 98. And now looking back, we realize that Lupercalia has this gematria of 98. And this train crash came exactly 88 days after Lupercalia. It was train number 188. These multiples of 11 that they love. And again, Truth Seeker, if you go back and watch my videos, I covered a lot of things. I even looked at how there was these movies made in Pennsylvania about train crashes that related. This movie, Unstoppable, featuring Denzel Washington, runs 98 minutes. And if you watch the movie, the credits begin to roll at the 93rd minute. 93, the number of Thelema. Noticed it was released November 12th, 2010. 11 plus 12 is 23, the 11th month. Plus 10 more, 33. Just like the movie Unbreakable, also set in Pennsylvania, also released on a 33 date. True Seeker, remember the train that crashed in Philadelphia was heading into New York. From not long ago, in our news story, we had a crash in New York, a train that was traveling at too high of a speed. It was a Metro North Railroad, which also happens to have this gematria of 98. 98. Remember this story, Truth Seeker? These train engineers going way too fast, the media tells us. But really, I think they're all made for television stunts, trying to tell us this narrative they're unfolding against us. Here's the measurement from February 13th, the date of Lupercalia, to May 12th, the day it crashed. 88 days, train number 188. Here's that film Unbreakable. It released November 22nd, 11 plus 22 is 33, slash 00 plus 0, 33. Again, Unbreakable, Unstoppable, both set in Pennsylvania, both released on dates with 33 numerology. And this movie, Truth Seeker, to make you laugh, runs 106 minutes. The speed that the train in Philadelphia was said to be traveling at when it derailed, 106 miles per hour, just like the length of this film. David Dunn, the main character, played by Bruce Willis, has a gematria of 93. I wonder how many people on September 11th, 2001, when they saw the image on TV, thought of Bruce Willis. Because that's what I thought of. My roommate woke me up in college in a panicked mode. I didn't know what was going on. He told me to look at the TV. I thought Die Hard was playing. That was my first thought. Die Hard, Bruce Willis. I bet you I'm not alone. Also, Truth Seeker, with regards to that number 188, the 188th day of the year is July 7th. Think about 7/7/2005. 2005 has a numerology of 7. That was the London train bombings. Do you remember that? The 188th day of the year. Another train incident. That one happened at 8:49 or 11 till 9. It was all full of numbers, Truth Seeker. And also from the Philadelphia train crash, what we're looking at right here, it was train number 188, but the front car had a 601 on it. That's a lot like 61 if you drop the 0, which is what the word church sums to. Church equals 61, like God in Jewish gematria. In the Bible, in Revelation, Philadelphia is one of 7 churches in Revelation. One of 7 churches in Revelation. The name Philadelphia comes from Revelation. When I first started my blog, I started to notice how many things in this nation's history sync up with Revelation. And that's when the seed was planted that, maybe all the news stories are mimicking the Bible. Maybe the Bible is the playbook. And now, after doing all this decoding for about 2 years, I have no doubt that that's what these people are doing. The Bible is their playbook for these hoaxes. That's why the train crash is in Philadelphia, a city significant to Revelation. And also, Truth Seeker, in my videos, I often say how what's going on in the news, what's going on in current events is very much synced up with what's going on in the world of sports. And I don't know how people don't notice this. To me, it seems so blatantly obvious. But check this out. In the current NBA Finals going on right now, recall that in Game 1, it went to overtime with a score of 98-98. It was exactly 98 days earlier that they'd played on February 26th. On February 26th to June 4th, when the NBA Finals began, was a span of 98 days. The teams went to overtime 98-98. And also, Truth Seeker, from the first date of Lupercalia, February 13th, to June 4th, when the NBA Finals began, is a span of 111 days, or 3 months and 22 days. And check out the NBA Finals in Jewish gematria. 322, like 3 months and 22 days. Or in simple English gematria, 111, like 111 days. And if you watch my video on Game 1, I told you that the Warriors were supposed to score 111. They could not make the final three-pointer. They won with 108. They screwed up the script. It was obvious. Also, Truth Seeker, notice that 111 becomes 666 in English gematria. This reminds me of the college championship, which was on April 6, 4/6. NBA Finals was 6/4. Anyway, Duke Blue Devils won the college championship. Blue Devils is just like the NBA Finals. It equals 111, simple English, 666, English gematria. And Coach K is the coach of the Blue Devils, who I did a video post about. His birthday is on Lupercalia. He's born February 13th. Coach K, the winner of the college championship this year. And True Seeker, also with regards to the NBA Finals, the Warriors are in it right now, originating from Philadelphia. They were originally the Philadelphia Warriors. They won the first NBA championship there ever was in the year 47. If they win this year, they will have defeated the team from Ohio. Ohio is the only state with 47 gematria. So hold on, I'm going to come right back with one more piece about Revelation, just to show you how all this ties in. All right, Truth Seeker. So one last point about this train crash. The engineer was said to be somebody named Brandon Bostian. Notice those initials, BB. B's the second letter. BB is a lot like 22. Revelation has 22 chapters. The gematria of Revelation, Pythagorean 49, V exception 67, simple English gematria 121. And in English gematria, it sums to 726, that's 121 times 6. Remember, this train was traveling to New York. New York's establishment date, Truth Seeker, is July 26. Notice that's 726, a lot like Revelation. 1788. But instead of writing it out that way, I just want to write the 88. 7 plus 26 is 33. Plus 88 more is 121. So New York has some very much Revelation coding on it, if you will. New York is the 11th state. If you sum 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 all the way up to 11, it sums to 66. Why is that important? Revelation is the 66th book in the Bible. So it makes sense that New York would have all this coding on it when the founders of this country have been using Revelation all this time as the playbook. Beyond that, the name Brandon Bostian, Pythagoreans 58 with the S exception 67, like one of the numbers of Revelation, 67. With regards to 67, Truth Seeker, remember we were measuring to the date of September 23rd, 2015. If we write it this way, 9 plus 23 is 32, plus 20 more is 52, plus 15 more is 67. That's a fair way to get a date numerology. 67 is one of the numbers of Revelation. September 23rd, Truth Seeker, is the 266th day of the year, 266. The 266th Pope, Pope Francis, will be visiting the United States on this day. Okay, so back to this name, Brandon Bostian. In English gematria, his name sums to 888. 888. There were a lot of 88s in this story. Remember, it was train 188. It was 88 days after Lupercalia. Well, in Revelation, there are 404 verses and 22 chapters. If you multiply those numbers, you get 8,888. 8, this number that represents infinity, the infinite, powerful, ongoing. It's something else, isn't it, Truth Seeker? It's something else. So now we know what the Philadelphia train crash is about, and we know that the madmen who are running our media are measuring by Lupercalia for whatever reason this year. I don't think they do this every year. I think for some reason Lupercalia is extra special this year. With regards to the Triple Crown, that came exactly 113 days after Lupercalia. Why is that interesting? Because Triple Crown in gematria sums to 153. And in the Bible, there's the miracle catch of 153 fish. Fish in Jewish gematria sums to 113. So the numbers on Triple Crown even line up with measuring from Lupercalia. Anyway, Truth Seeker, I got more videos coming. What made me put all this together was the news of the Philae comet lander waking up yesterday. Remember, it landed on comet 67P. That number 67 again. Philae is a 33 word, so often coded. So I'm going to be doing some more videos on Philae, the comet lander, Lupercalia, and upcoming September 23rd. But I really wanted to get this information out because I think this is super important. I'm hoping those of you out there who follow my work and also apply it can make some more connections. I think we're getting really close to putting this puzzle together, Truth Seeker. And we need to do something about this because these people have plans for us. I'm starting to think September 23rd is a lock for some sort of false flag, some sort of major hoax. All right, Truth Seeker, until next